In progress.
And good afternoon. Members, I'm sure it's no surprise, but I rise in opposition and ask for no vote on Senate Bill 135. Colorado families are being asked to believe the only way to fund education is to let politicians keep more of their money, their hard-earned money, forever. Senate Bill 135, in my opinion, is not a serious way to increase teacher pay. In fact, as I stated the other day, that's not me, that's the microphone. It's not what I stated. There we go.
Members.
Senate Bill 135, in my opinion, is not a serious way to increase teacher pay, and there is no guarantee, as I stated the other day. There's nothing in the bill that requires, and there will be nothing on the ballot that requires that the additional funding that's coming in, which is a lot, will go towards teacher pay. It can go to teacher pay, it can go to teacher retention, it can go to lowering class sizes, which can pretty much be anything. It can go to a categorical, increasing access to career and technical colleges and classes. It's not just about teacher pay. In fact, it's hardly about teacher pay. It is a backdoor approach or attack on Tabor dressed up in the language of helping kids or stabilizing our budget and increasing teacher pay. Without raising taxes over the course of the last few years, we have been able to increase education funding by more than $1.3 billion annually without raising taxes. By governing the right way, setting priorities, making hard choices, and funding schools without breaking faith with the taxpayers. This is a bill that when you look at it and we figure out the numbers, it will increase the Tabor limit in the first year, so the cap, and remember, I'm using my left arm again, remember the original Tabor cap back in 1993, in 2005, and then it'll be 2026, and it'll go like this. It can increase the cap in the first year by $4.6 billion. Those are tax dollars. People are out working for. Those are sales tax dollars. By 36-37, it will be $7.6 billion. Has the potential to increase taxes on people, on our constituents who we've been arguing about affordability and discussing how unaffordable our state is, could increase taxes over the course of the next 7 years by up to $37.5 billion. And not just taxes. By raising the cap, it allows us to increase fees. In fact, we could more than double fees, and they'd still be under the cap. The positive factor, well, it is positive, $9 billion over 10 years that would go to education. I stated the other day the dollar amounts. In the first year, it's $71 million that are going to 178 school districts. In the second or third year, this could be maybe $500 million going to 178 school districts. But you saw the low dollar amounts that some of our school districts are receiving. The Democrats still, I'm sorry. I apologize. I caught myself.
Thank you.
The deal on the table with Senate Bill 135 is to give government a blank check without taxpayer refunds, and in return, get an amount for education that really doesn't exceed what we've already secured through discipline and priorities. It's a terrible trade, in my opinion, for Colorado families. When Tabor refunds hit that $750 mark and the $800 mark, people felt it. And I just want to say once again, thank you to the governor for sending out that check. Even though you took credit for something that was because of Tabor, thank you for sending out the check. For all those people who weren't here in 1992 when Tabor passed, 3 decades ago, they were here now, and they thought, yeah, we want to keep government in check, and we want our money back. In fact, we don't want to even give it to you in the first place. For many households, they got as much as $1,600 into their family budget. That is not just extra money laying around. That is a grocery bill for a month. Well, that's if you're my daughter and she has 3 boys that eat a lot and drink a lot of milk. But it could be the grocery bill for a month, it's new tires, a couple of car payments approximately, back to school clothes, help with the property tax bill, or just enough breathing room to catch up when everything else keeps getting more expensive and more unaffordable. Tabor exists for a reason. It protects taxpayers from a government that will always find a new excuse to take more. It forces the legislature to live within its means, just like every family in the state has to do. This Senate bill blows a hole through that protection. Once the state is allowed to keep and spend the revenue from the Tabor refund, taxpayers do not get that money back. It's gone. Comes into our coffers. And history tells us that when politicians get a new stream of money, they never give it up. To me, saying that this is for the kids when the record says otherwise is just not right. If the legislature truly wanted to prioritize school, it could, and we have. The money is there, the money has been there. The problem is not Tabor. You know, I've heard several times over the course of the last few years, Tabor is why the government can't have nice things. And I've responded accordingly. Tabor is why the people get to have nice things. The consequences go far beyond the refund. Once Tabor is gutted, every other promise, I believe, could be put into uncertainty. Again, this bill to me, while it is being portrayed as being about the children, we even changed the name of the fund from the State Excess Revenue Fund to the Children's Fund. And we did that here in this bill. This bill is about control. It's about whether hardworking Coloradoans keep more of what they earned or whether politicians here at the Capitol get a permanent blank check. We should reject Senate Bill 135, keep fighting for schools without selling out our taxpayers. I ask for a no vote.